Hello everyone, it's your boy Darkslayer555 and I'm back with a new video again, another chapter review for Berserk. I was expecting to release another video before this, but I mean, I didn't expect this chapter to be out today because the leaks were basically, people on Twitter were saying it was going to come out September 9th, but no official source confirmed it, so I thought it was just bullshit, someone made up. But it turns out, literally, I never saw any official sources say it, and out of nowhere today, I just get pinged saying a new Berserk chapter is out. Literally a complete shock because I wasn't even expecting it anytime soon, since the next issue's already been confirmed not to have it. But anyway, I mean, I'm not complaining. It was honestly an insane chapter for once, but like I always say, there's going to be a spoiler warning for the new chapter of Berserk, so if you haven't read it, go and read it and then come back and watch this video, because it is probably the most influential chapter in ages, even more than the last one. So anyway, sit back, and this is my chapter review for Berserk chapter 369. Enjoy. Okay, so we begin the chapter by just seeing Farnese and Shirkit as they're wondering what Guts is. I mean, the whole island is collapsing, so of course, accordingly, they're worried about Guts and they're screaming his name. They're realizing that, look, he's going away, he's gonna fucking be crushed. The chapter's title is Fade and Isle, which, I mean, just means the island's fucking going, the whole elf thing, which is kind of mad, realistically. I mean, this is where Puck was born. This is where a lot of the story originates from. This island is of immense importance, and it ends with its destruction, which is obviously a transcendental event. We then move on to see Guts, who's now completely broken. I mean, can you even blame the guy? Last chapter, he was already destroyed. I mean, he literally lost Casca, the most important person to him, to his fucking enemy. And what did he do to defend her? Nothing. He even went as far as to almost kill her, because if Griffin wasn't immortal, he would have not only killed him, but also Casca, all because of his rage. And then he's just fucking being depressed, really, and just looking at the fact that he couldn't even land one blow. I mean, he did land blows. The thing is, they didn't do any damage, so he probably means that they didn't do any damage, because he didn't, really. But to be fair, there was a hidden detail that he did cut one strand of his hair, so in regards he did some damage, but of course that to him is absolutely nothing and meaningless. However, obviously that's important to the later plot, obviously it can still harm him. We then cut to the island just collapsing on Guts. I mean, this whole panel, in my opinion, is wow, it's just really visually appealing in terms of the fact that Guts is really giving up. The guy that's gone against destiny for his entire fucking life after the eclipse. This guy's literally went months without sleeping, during the night, just because he had to fucking fight apostles to the death, day after day after day, year after year. No matter what, he lost everything he made to him. He lost his arm, he lost his eye, and he still never gave up, and he still fought back. He came back from nothing, got Casca back, came everything together, and this guy's giving up now? Just the whole scale of this, of the magnitude of this, of him just giving up, forfeiting, it's just mad to me. After everything he's been through, he's really just lost it again. Everything he's been through to get Casca this far, he's lost her again to his fucking enemy, and he did nothing after this. It's like the journey was meaningless. I do get why he's broken, the poor man. So it's probably going to take, honestly, chapters to recover, and I feel bad for my goat, because how can you not, man? His life is fucking terrible. Nothing but misery everywhere. Regardless, he will come back up, and this is the final time he's being put down. I'm telling you right now. No way we see him fucking more pain. We then cut to Puck just overseeing the whole island. I mean, nothing much on this panel. Just really the island shaking apart. I mean, the apostles literally just came up from the air, so I still don't really know how. I feel like Griffith just summoned them out of nowhere, but then again, he is the God Hand, and I mean, he literally has control over God, literally the Seal was we saw in the deleted chapter of Berserk. So I mean, can you really be surprised at anything this guy does? He literally fully just summoned everyone. I mean, Puck's here is surprised, and honestly, once we get to the end of the chapter, it's kind of depressing, because this is really the final panel we get off of him. This is the final Puck panel we're gonna get in maybe ever, maybe forever, or hundreds of chapters at least, unless he's somehow still here, but that just wouldn't make sense. We then cut to school now. I mean, he's just overseeing the island as well. Nothing much with these panels, they're just really depicting the scene. I mean, a lot of these chapters have just not had much dialogue and have been really simplistic in terms of that regard, and they just really show what's happening, rather than, it's basically show, not tell, really. I mean, the island's just falling apart completely, so yeah. The whole tree or whatever from the last chapter is fucking destroyed, and that is the whole course for this thing. And I mean, I will explain the whole ending and the huge twist we've had, because this twist is honestly like monumental, as impactful as that of volume 34, because it literally is that all over again. I mean, you see down here, you see those roots on the island. I do feel like those are the roots of the tree, and I will get as to what the consequences of destroying that tree are. I mean, then we're going to see the monsters again, who apparently die under seawater. I mean, thankfully the Captain Goat lives. I thought they're actually going to kill him, you know, but he's alive. Let's fucking go. He deserves it, man. He doesn't deserve to die. So thankfully he's here to stick for the ride. I mean, he might die later on, but for now, he's safe. And they found a way to defeat the monsters, that being the sea. Although by the end of the chapter, they are defeated anyway, so it's kind of pointless regardless. And then we get to see the captain try to save more people by telling them to just throw anything that floats overboard. Anyone that's like on the water drowning, they can be saved. And the mermaids are also cooperating, so in theory everyone's being saved right now. No one's dying, like, in terms of humans. We then cut to a huge double spread, which, I mean, I'm sorry for the scans being a bit shit. Like, the website where I got the chapter from, because for once I'm actually making this video as soon as it came out, so like the scans, I couldn't really download the images himself, like the actual files, the actual like scans of the panels. So this is the best we got. Regardless, look, it's just a panel of the island sinking for real, like the entire island, Puck's kingdom. And I kind of feel bad for just all the astral beings, like, and also the witch as well, the fucking like girl forever, Flora. Oh, not Flora, whatever it's called, the elf girl, whatever. I just feel bad for all of them, because I mean, they have just lost their home, like, completely to just an evil entity. I mean, just seeing Griffith alone, literally, like, Shirky was basically almost killed just from his presence. They obviously are quite shook, really, and just honestly destroyed. But what can you expect? I mean, this is a transcendental event for the series. And then we get to see more of the island and the aftermath, just people in the water being saved by the mermaids and just people really injured. We also see some seagulls in Berserk, come on. I love to see that. And then we just see Serpico and the girl, whatever. And then, to be fair, now we are kind into really monumental stuff. Basically, the witch girl, I forgot her name, honestly. It's a kind of relevant, no. But basically, she starts glowing in this, like, peculiar way. Like, obviously, the glowing's just not normal. And then you start to see shine everywhere. So, a lot of people shining, not just her. All the astral beings around. People like the mermaids, Puck, etc. They're all shining, including Isma, I mean, as we can see below. And this is where, I mean, the chapter just takes a completely huge fucking turn. Like, I just didn't see this coming at all. And all the astral beings, that being the monsters, the mermaids, all the fictional beings, basically, just all disappear. Like, they literally did a fucking Avengers Infinity War, you know, like the Spider-Man scene. I mean, she says it's time we kind of remain in the corporal world, which I haven't really heard that before, but it's obviously just the real world. They are all astral beings from the astral world, as we've seen before. You know, like before Golden Age, no beings were here. And this was happening. From my understanding, I went to the Berserk Discord because I did not understand what was going on. We saw the tree at the end of last chapter, yeah, this huge tree that I also exclaimed that looked a lot like Ganishka, the same sort of tree, the tree of life. And Griffith just destroyed the island holding that tree, yeah, and by doing so destroyed the tree. And that tree basically had the same impact as Ganishka. What happened is that the island itself was a part of the astral world in the real world that was only able to be there and exist there because of that tree. So, in theory, basically, that tree kept them all being there, and so now that the tree has been destroyed, all these beings are going back to the astral world because they have nothing keeping them there, including Isma. And now we get this Avengers fucking Spider-Man scene of her just fading. Like, look at this, man. She just fades on his arms, bro. Obviously, Israel loved her. Like, it's kind of just sad to see, of course. It's literally like Spider-Man in fucking Infinity War, which I just never expected this to happen. Like, what? And the consequences of this are insane, because what I want to know is, are Griffith's like monsters that obey him for his army just also disappearing? Like, bear in mind, I've also asked this question on the Discord. What my reply is apostles will not be going because they're part human, so they're astral beings that can still coexist in the human world. However, any fully apostle being, such as mermaids and whatnot, dragons, they're all going, I think. But what I don't get is, I was wondering how Puck still existed before, like, in Golden Age. And then I remember, this tree has been here before the Ganishka tree. This tree has been here always. This is where Puck was born. So that explains as to why Puck existed, like, in the Black Swordsman arc, etc. Not just because Griffith and Volume 34, him just opening up the astral world, didn't yet happen. I mean, we see all the V's here just disappearing. This already existed before the astral world became a thing, like. And now that the tree's gone, what I want to know is, does this only affect, like, Elfin, the kingdom, or does this affect Griffith's army? Because if it does, why would he do this? He's lost his kingdom now. He's lost the main force of his kingdom, and he's brought the world back to normality, so, like, he'll be pre-Volume 34, and the only reason his kingdom all came together is because he was the only guy offering safety. So, I don't really know what his goal here is. I have a theory that maybe he's bored. Like, he's achieved the kingdom he's always ever wanted. So, maybe he's satisfied, he's bored, he doesn't know what to do. Why would he take Casca? Like, he obviously wants Guts and the gang to just go for him. I mean, then we get to this panel of just the whole gang looking at the island. And again, it's just, like, basically, this is how the chapter ends. Like, everyone's gone. What now? Like, why did Griffith do this? It's why I want to know, and everyone wants to know. And what are the consequences of the tree disappearing? Why does that, like, really matter to the existence of flora and all that, considering the Gadishka tree is still a thing in Falconia? Does that mean that only these people have gone and Griffith still has his army? And if so, then yeah, Griffith's deleted his only enemy that was some sort of a threat. So fuck, like, Guts and crew are fucked. They're literally fucked. What are they going to be able to do with no one? They have no one to help aside from maybe Rickett and his gang. I mean, we get to this final spread, and I really like this quote: "The tranquil aftermath of a storm that swept away everything but despair." A clear depiction of Guts for now. Everything he ever worked for, everything now, all the hope he has ever fucking been able to achieve, getting Casca back to a fucking sane, like, to sanity, all of that has just been faded away by a clear storm. And the only thing that's left is his fucking despair and pain, just like always. Honestly depressing. The whole gang has lost loads of people. Flora and everyone has gone. I'm assuming Skull Knight, because he is part human, he's literally a sacrifice, is still obviously here. He's not an apostle. And obviously he's still going to be here, so I feel like he will explain what's happened next chapter more clearly, because this has just been a plot twist that came out of nowhere, and I feel like Miura would have added more sort of an explanation. However, what can we do? Miura's dead, so obviously we can't expect a full-on chapter that just explains everything. And so this is the aftermath of Falconia. I mean, not Falconia, Fantasia. This is where the arc ends, officially. Since next chapter we should be getting a new arc. I doubt it will be the last one, because Guts right now stands no fucking chance against Griffith. Especially if Griffith has his whole army, because he's just destroyed all the people that posed a threat, aside from what? Guts and his crew. And if you didn't destroy them, it's for a reason, because they pose no threat. Obviously, eventually Guts will kill him or do something, because the story can't just end like this, without Guts being able to do anything. What's the point of the whole story then? The struggling themes and everything. I mean, that's what Guts feels like. The story's over. Like, he can't do anything. But obviously, the story will go on. Guts will regain hope. I feel like Rickett will be the thing that kind of lights him up again, because he has an insane force behind him. I mean, with the monks or whatever, the Buddhas, who will be helping him. Rickett will probably bring hope back into Guts. I mean, he did escape Falconia, even though it's driven by literally a God Hand member, so there is a way to escape it. And obviously, I feel like Skull Knight will point out to Guts that he did do some damage on Griffith actually, and so it is possible to harm an astral being of that caliber, that being Griffith, like an actual god. So, I mean, what Griffith's intention are, I honestly do not have a fucking clue. I can't predict it. Like, taking Casca is obvious to make Guts triggered to make him go back, although there is a chance that maybe he just wants to, like, marry her as well, have her as a wife. But then what about the princess? Like, will he just betray her? Like, or maybe wants to, like, offer her to join the Band of the Hawk again? But I just don't see why. Like, she's obviously going to go insane as soon as she opens her eyes. I have no idea, man. Honestly, Berserk is just crazy, man. This chapter is insane. I'm honestly really intrigued to hear other people's thoughts, so please leave it on the comments, because I honestly have no fucking clue what's going to happen. We see on the sky as well, just the roots of the tree fading, I guess, like the aftermath of course, of the whole thing. Honestly, yeah, Guts will go Falconia's the next arc for sure. He regains hope by meeting Rickett, or just, it might just be a journey of struggle and just lost. Like, Guts will be probably depressed for a while. So, yeah, we're definitely getting more than an arc. Like, bro, Berserk's going to go on for at least like another 100, maybe 200 chapters, because there's a lot that needs to happen before we have anywhere near the ending on this, and I still have no clue what's going to happen. So we're clearly not near the ending. Griffith's a fucking prick. I hate him. I hope he fucking pays eventually. I mean, he is a god, so there's not much we can do. He's just destroyed everything Guts worked hard for. Decades of work, just in the span of a few seconds and chapters. And all Guts did was take a strand of hair and exchange one piece of dialogue with him. Like, nothing's fucking changed. Griffith's still a menace. I mean, 30 years of work, whatever, nothing's changed. Obviously, I feel the man's suppressed. The only thing that's changed is that, of course, Casca's back, and Guts was able to cut one strand of hair from Griffith. That's what's changed. Regardless, this has been my review of chapter 369. I'll see you all in Berserk chapter 370, although I will have a video beforehand. So anyway, it's been your boy, Duxler555. Thank you for watching, boys. See you next time.